How challenging did you find it to do the sports aspect of it? Had you shot that before?
Brutal.
Yeah.
What we did was we obviously went into the stadium during a couple of wake games, shot the action on the field, on the sidelines, all the activity outside the stadium, the tailgate parties. Then we also had our principals, Ryan on the sidelines, Andy and Aiden in the stands. We also then had our recreation team, which we, did we do that at halftime at one time, or was it all, it wasn't during any of the games? Was it?
We did a couple sideline stuff.
Yeah, we did sideline stuff during the games, but we then had the use of the stadium to do our sort of recreation and took people in the stands, a couple hundred people, and replaced their positions from time to time. And then I licensed all the, as all the wake folks will know, I licensed the actual games from the '06 season, primarily from ESPN. And so it took several months to integrate all of that source footage. The actual games, the games that we created on the field, and then all the the wake games that we actually, sort of shot. Didn't try to tell the story of the games, just tried to create an impression of the season, with all that material. But the editing of that was long and laborious. But I think it was worth it.
How did you choose the actors to play different characters?
How do we choose the actors?
Well, I mean, each character obviously was, it's a true story, so he had his own view of each character, and we all came in and met and read, and I actually read a couple times for Rick, and we did I think the hardest audition scenes I've ever done in my life for the movie, but there was also a physical aspect for my character too. I mean, John was 5'10", 250. He's kind of built like a fridge, and I'm not a small guy, but I'm a kind of a big actor, I guess. Most of them are 5'6", 130. So I got a chance to, there's a fun little physical aspect to playing this role as well, and to portraying John, and that was smart as far as my involvement in getting cast. I mean, that was the most fun thing about it, I think.
Yeah. And, fortunately, for me, actually, when Ryan first came in to read, he had already been working out for another sports movie, which I don't think ever happened, did it?
No.
So,
everything happens for a reason.
That's right. So he was already big, but then went on a serious weight and, weight program to try to get as big as he could before we started shooting. But as you can see from some of the shots of the real John, he's huge.
Yeah.
All right, is that it? Yes.
Did you actually yourself meet the woman who received the award?
I did not, but Stephen and Marianne did. Yes. 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 Yes, they did. Yes.
Who are the other recipients?
I don't know. You can only find them through the organ donation societies. You can't contact people directly. And for the purposes of the film, because so much of the story, there was so much story beyond the organ donation story. I really just chose to focus on the one young mother who was failing from a congenital heart disease, and that to me was the most compelling of the organ donation recipient stories. And I also, before I ever started writing the script, I knew what the last scene was. I knew what that scene was going to be, which for me, just sort of tied the entire film together. So that became the focal point, and I don't know who the other people are.
That was a beautiful scene, that last scene.
Yeah. All right, so Umbria is where? In the financial district?
Yes,
Or-
Franklin Street.
Yeah, so that's where we're all going.
So drinks on Robin, everybody.
All right. Thanks very much for coming.